It's time for the news.
Another UFO sighting has taken place.
The leather's made out of cardboard.
The number you have dialed is in an alternate dimension.
Welcome back to Weird Week. My name's Jack DeMont. Here with me, Daniel Kim and Hector Chacon.
Yes, sir. On the first try. Let's go.
You like that? I didn't even pause that.
It's like I'm sure of it this time.
just wait till next week, stud. Because I'm probably gonna pause again.
Yeah, next week you got my social and everything. You got it. Right.
How you guys doing? You ready for the weekend? Friday fun day. Ready for get out?
TGIF.
Oh hell yeah, man! It's been a week. I'm so ready to unwind.
Now, Hector, you work weekdays mostly, and then you have weekends off.
Yeah, so Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or I guess 8 to 7. Given that I have to take the 405, and traffic is awesome here in LA. But yeah, that's a typical schedule. Like, not too shabby. Have weekends off and stuff, so can't complain.
Gotcha. Well, then it's good that you get to have that like definitive break. DK knows all about LA traffic for work, right? DK?
Oh yeah. I mean, just from living in LA, everybody knows about traffic in LA.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But there's something very, very different about it being your job to sit in LA traffic. That's literally what like LA delivery drivers are and stuff, or to just like go through the misery that is sitting in LA.
I don't think I have to travel like freeways and stuff like across cities and stuff like that. That's different for, I think, from like people that drive further distances.
So you're delivering to a very like small area in Los Angeles for the most part.
Yeah.
You usually stay in like a radius.
Yeah, I usually stay in the radius. Yeah, nothing that takes you across like.
I don't know if it's just that there's more.
I don't think I have to bear freeways like I used to.
I don't know if it's as much, or if it's that there's just more demand then, or if it's the difference between like being a delivery driver and like an Uber driver that Ubers people, like a taxi.
Well, yeah, because some people like have to go to like another.
Because you have to travel for those usually, it feels like. And I did that for a while. I never did the delivery thing. I did the taxi kind of service. And man, LA traffic was my job. That was a lot of fun, let me tell you.
That's so stressful.
Yeah, well, basically what you have to do, what I learned was you have to learn how to bend over and take it. You have to learn how to just submit and accept the fact that you are stuck in LA traffic, and LA traffic is a greater beast than you'll ever understand. And you need to just like, first off, stay in your lane. Stop trying to switch lanes all the time. That's part of what causes all traffic. Like, guys, just stay in your fucking lane. You know what you realize when you do that is you'll be going down a freeway for like 2 miles at like 5 miles an hour. And you'll see a car that's switching lanes left and right, trying to get as far up as he can. And then you'll eventually pass him 20 minutes later going 4 miles an hour, because you're just defeating yourself by constantly switching lanes. Just stay in your lane, go down just truck down that lane and listen to like a good podcast or something like Weird Week, because
it is always satisfying passing that asshole though. It's like, you fucking idiot.
You're
passing by. It's like, fuck you, man.
And it's because it's always like a really memorable car. There was something about them that like, not only were they bobbing and weaving like crazy compared to everybody else, but they were also like bright red with an anime sticker on the back. Exactly. And you're like, hey man, I like anime too, but I'm not trying to be Naruto through these freaking streets, man.
Like, oh yeah, fuck you, you fucking white Tesla. I have my eyes on you, and then you pass him like 30 minutes later, or like 10 minutes later. It's like, you fucking moron,
right?
And you're just like one car ahead, but it's still satisfying.
And you're just passing with a smile on your face while they're sitting like raging behind some car because they can't pass to the next lane.
Yeah,
gotta love it. LA traffic, guys. It's not a joke. When people talk about LA traffic, It's not like a myth or just something that LA people like getting a tiffy about. Like, nah, yo, we like it. LA traffic is so much worse than people can understand.
You know when traffic was great at the start of the pandemic, when there was like no traffic. So I'm like, we need another plague or something. Just
Crazy. There was some ass freeways. Just
yeah, it was scary. It's like, oh,
it felt apocalyptic for sure, dude.
Oh,
That was
fuck
some
yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
In a good
Yeah,
way.
in the best way.
Yeah. Speaking of an apocalypse, the dinosaurs went through an apocalypse and didn't survive it. There was a Velociraptor statue stolen from outside of a museum or inside of a museum. I don't know which. And the police have gotten it back. It's funny because the way they describe it, they tracked it down to a nearby apartment. They opened the door and the detectives could clearly see the Velociraptor was sitting right inside. And it's just like the way that they like talk about it, it's just like, I mean, yeah, you caught the guys red-handed. There's a giant Velociraptor statue in their apartment. There's no questioning who it is, who done it, where it is. Like, it's a giant dinosaur in the middle of an apartment.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's my Lego set. I don't know what you're talking about. Lego sets are just very realistic nowadays.
Talking about Bill the dinosaur? He's been here for years, man.
We go way
That
back.
guy.
Jesus
I've been trying to
Christ.
kick him out for a long time, get his ass evicted.
So he stole a
Yeah, that's
statue.
exactly why. That like why?
3 people carried the statue away from a Washington pavilion. The statue wasn't damaged. And I mean, it really isn't giving much of a description on like why they did it. I mean, it sounds like they must have just really liked the dinosaur statue and wanted some decor.
You know what? This will go great in my living room. Hey,
Yeah.
Bob, come help me.
And I mean,
Jesus.
I have looked through all of it, and I'm not really seeing anything.
It's just weird people being weird.
I mean, they're
I mean-
18, 19, and the third one is a juvenile. Like it's like under
Oh.
like 15 or 14. So
That
they're
puts
just
things in
kids being
perspective.
kids.
It really
Oh,
is
okay.
because I can then.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
it's literally because I could have a dinosaur in my living room.
Because why not?
Yeah. But also, good on you guys. You guys just got a cool Velociraptor statue in your apartment. But I think now you've been arrested.
I mean, hopefully they got like dumb pictures on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. You know,
That
would
might
be
have gave it away. That might have gave it away.
Yeah, especially at this age, they're not gonna think about it. They're gonna post it like, "Hey, look, like, hey, I went shopping at the museum. Guess what we got?" And it's just like fucking the Velociraptor in the back. It's like,
I mean, it that would be hilarious, but it's not what gave it away. What gave it away was they literally were seen carrying it away. Security officer saw them with his eyes and called the cops and said, "Someone's walking away with our statue."
It's like it's definitely not slick, you know. It's like, oh yeah, no. It wasn't even a high speed chase or anything. I literally just walked behind them. Like,
I just
had
followed
them
them with
struggle
the
a bit.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to apartment 3. Yeah. Funny stuff, man. Funny stuff. This episode is going to be very much just like random ass stuff that's going on all across the country and the world, and so we're going around the globe with this.
Hell yeah,
episode.
man. Let's go travel. Let's do this.
I like that. That Velociraptor one, I think that was in South Dakota. Now we're gonna be moving further south from South Dakota to Nevada, one of the hottest places in America. We've talked about the heat waves recently starting up again. Nevada, it looks like, has some blood red crickets invading one of their small towns, and residents are fighting back with brooms, leaf blowers, and snow plows. It sounds like a really fun concept for a movie, like Arachnophobia, but with crickets out in the middle of the desert.
I mean, have you seen videos for this? It's insane. It's like literally like you think it's something from a movie or something. It's like it's a
There's that many
carpet of
crickets?
crickets. Yeah, it's a carpet of crickets. Like you literally can't like do anything. So it's gotten crazy to the point where cars are literally just running over crickets. You hear those pops and stuff, and then like the roads are like kind of like slippery because of all the cricket guts and shit. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those insect invasions that you see usually not here in like Los Angeles, but you'll see like the cicadas and things like that. But it's one of those things where it's like there are so many, like you can, especially like in towns where like the cicadas happen, those residents are used to that kind of a thing happening, so they know how to deal with it easily and whatnot. This is something that is happening to them for the first time. It looks like they're not expecting it, but like,
and contrary to what ladies say, you know, it's 2 inches. It's pretty big, like per cricket. Size jokes.
Size jokes. No, but it's it sounds like they're extraordinarily invasive in the sense that like they'll basically like eat anything to survive, and so that's exactly what's happening. And they're not.
What's causing the crazy invasion? Did they say?
I think it might be like either their mating season or something akin to the cicadas.
Tens of thousands of cricket eggs were buried about an inch deep in soil. So it was something to do with mating season. It sounds like I'm still not seeing why, but it looks like they laid their eggs in soil in an area that they don't normally do that in. Like these people aren't used to it.
Like yeah, it definitely looks like something out of a Bible, like a biblical plague kind of thing, because it's you see all again, they're fucking huge bugs, and I mean, no one likes bugs, and these look fucking disgusting. And to have that like literally just everywhere, like with no fucks given, just living in life and stuff, it's pretty sick.
It looks like,
God, those look gnarly though.
it looks like we're mistaken, and that this is something that happens in the area. It regularly occurs, and
okay,
it's just something super abnormal for us, and them fighting these things with brooms and stuff is just the norm of what they do when they're fighting these things every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see it here. So I mean, it does happen, but not as often. I guess they haven't seen something like this since 2008. So I guess like it's some time. Definitely, you know, people that in their lifetime that haven't seen that. So yeah, so it happens like every 10 to 15 years, give or take. So definitely not like oh, it's allergy season, like oh it's Mormon cricket season, time to you know get rid of that big ass
Mormon
swarm.
cricket. Did you say Mormon cricket? That's what they're called?
They're called the Mormon crickets.
Yeah, so they just show up at your door for no reason, like
I have a lot of Mormon family. Okay, you watch your mouth.
Well, tell them this
Protestant
family told them to fuck off. It's a war now.
You know the goal
I love
for
my
this
Mormon side,
podcast
but hey, guys, you know I'm not part of that.
The goal in this podcast is to like alienate someone. You know, it's always
as many big groups of people as we can
until it's just us three.
So yeah, the crickets don't happen that often, but when they do happen, they almost always are in this kind of like crazy number and stuff like that. So they just so essentially they're pulling out brooms and leaf blowers and trying to fight with snow plows because it happens so infrequently. It's not like they're going out and buying and creating a lot of equipment to deal with this kind of a thing. They just like buckle up and wait for it to happen in another 15 years. That's kind of crazy though, that they bury their eggs and then don't come back and then don't hatch for 15 years. Is that like that sounds like the incubation process.
Yeah, jeez.
Kind of crazy. But while we're on the topic of infestations, We're gonna move somewhere else here in the U.S. over to Florida. Florida is being infested by giant snails, dude. These snails are the size of like tennis balls.
Oh my
Or
god.
like bigger. They're really big. They're full, like in a full handful fucking
Jesus
snail.
Christ.
And it's an invasive giant African land snail. And they've popped up in 3 different counties across the state. And they're saying it's bad news. Obviously, that's bad news. Invasive species of any sort, plant, animal, whatever, are a problem. Humans included. These and then like especially giant versions of those things. Like these snails are so big. But to also like they're finding them in 3 different counties. That's troubling to me in the sense that clearly like invasive is like the right word to start using. Is like they're starting to pop up in several different areas. And the last thing we want is for, giant snails to end up here in California. I almost would be like more terrified of seeing like a giant snail on the street than seeing like many other things. I'd be so scared if I saw one of these snails.
Yeah,
Wait, how
Jesus
big are the
Christ.
snails?
Like the tennis ball, it's like the size of your fist essentially.
Oh, because yeah. Oh.
And the thing about these is that I guess they've noticed that they can actually like they can cause meningitis. So like they have meningitis. It's
What's
like
meningitis?
I think it's like a cerebral or spinal disease or something like that. I was looking it up because I'm not entirely sure, 100% sure what it is, but I think it has something to do with that. Like, but yeah, Florida is time and time again just proving that it is the Australia of the US, just because like all this scary shit going on down there.
Bruh, straight up. And it's not surprising, that like of all the places in the US that they would get the giant snails. It sounds so Florida. They got Crocs, gators, giant snails,
rednecks.
Oh yeah,
so meningitis is an inflammation or swelling of the protective membranes covering the brain and spinal cord. So yeah, so I was right. It's something along the lines like that. So it's
meningitis should be taken very seriously. That is a bad disease. Nobody wants to fuck with meningitis. And if there's anything out there causing meningitis, we need to like nip it in the bud as fast as we can. Not to be trifled with are these giant African snails, guys. If you're living in Florida, keep your eyes out, keep your feet peeled and squish a giant snail. I'm not Daniel, I'm not finding anything. Oh, right here it says they can grow up to 8 inches in length. So the snail, but I would assume that's not the shell. Like that's like the snail like stretching out and stuff. But 8 inches in length is freaking girthy. We were talking about how 2 inches isn't small. 8 inches is fucking massive.
Doesn't seem massive to me.
Daniel.
I'm just saying. I'd rather have cricket.
You didn't have to.
Than the snail.
You didn't have to just say. Oh man.
But crickets or snails, which one would you guys rather have?
Are we talking size or critter here?
Right. I mean,
I guess I don't know.
I wonder. Okay. Well, does it also like? Does it matter like which place you're living in along with it? Like, am I also? So if I get the snails, am I living in like Florida? If I
would say for argument's sake, we're living here. So you're not moving. So we're about to get infested by some. For argument's sake, so
probably the crickets if they're not causing freaking meningitis. Like, I mean. They're like, there's a lot more of them, but I can pull out a broom and start whacking them. If these snails are gonna like start eating away at my brain, then maybe I don't want the snails around. Yeah. The snails sound scarier, I think. A little more like alien and a little more just dangerous, it sounds like. Last but not least, let's travel over to France. Now we're going to France.
Oh, oui.
It looks like the French are trying to create a drone kind of helicopter taxi service. It's a drone, and there's a few different countries that have been trying to create these and implement them on a greater scale, but it looks like here Paris is going to be possibly the first to actually get implemented and utilize it in a big way during the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games. They're going to be trying to utilize this service, which would be really, really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's basically, I don't think there's too much more about it that we need to get into. I'm sure we can get into the details of the size of the vehicle, how fast it goes, what the cost is to create it, and who the company is and whatnot. Maybe we can still shout out the company. It looks like
Volocopter.
And
given recent events, my first question was how are they being controlled? Is it
right? That's a good question. That is a good question.
At least let it be a PS5 or Xbox Series X controller this time around, not a Logitech off-brand Xbox controller. Then it might be a little bit safer. Or is there someone actually driving the helicopter would be more preferable? But
right.
At least a more up-to-date controller.
So they're already on existing routes, and I'm thinking that it's actually like AI driven, and that they're basically just told to go from a point A to point B type thing, and they can do that.
Makes sense. Yeah,
it's not near as dangerous as going 13,000 feet down to the Titanic in a small 8 by 5 foot submersible.
Definitely less chances of implosions.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, more like explosions, because definitely dive down to your death. But
yeah,
I mean,
DK, you got anything on this? Come on.
I mean, sounds scary though. I don't know. I don't know if I want to jump in this thing.
What was it you that said, or which one of you said it like earlier? Though, like white people problems or whatever.
That's Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! It's just like this just screams it. Like,
I don't think it's a white person problem. I think more so it's just like
it's more so on that joke, just like like why kind of thing.
I'd be intrigued, to be honest with you. I'd be intrigued, but I would do it after a first few hundred runs, and I'm just like, it seems safe because I don't think it's like if it's free like the road where these things are like have to go to a specific destination. I think it follows a certain programmable path that it has to follow, so all you have to just regulate that, and it seems pretty safe enough. It's just a matter of like, what if it runs out of battery midair or something?
I'm sure they've done something. Yeah,
they've done tests and things, I'm sure, up until this point.
What I don't like is the whole AI thing driving it, because like there'll be a malfunction and then it's like, oh yeah, like so there was a Volocopter again in France that went down over the weekend.
Oh, soccer.
That's what trips me out. Exactly. Oh yeah, going down. I know that. What kind of accent was that? I don't know.
That sounded Irish. Is this thing made in Ireland too?
It is a World Cup. Oh no, not World Cup, Olympics.
That's not an Irish accent. Fuck it.
Definitely the kings of accents here. Yeah, I mean I like the whole idea. It's just the AI thing that kind of throws me off. At least right now. I mean, right now, especially if he's gonna go on trial, like fine, let other people die, or like be the beta testers.
Yeah, but sounds kind of fun, but also
it does sound fun.
Yeah. Speaking of LA traffic, I mean, this would kind of free it up. If I can take a
oh my god
subway or skyway somewhere really quick, that'd be dope.
They might still be man driven. I'm Still not necessarily finding anything on it. The AI thing that I had
Well, I'm pretty
seen,
sure that sometimes somebody's having some type of control over it. It's not like, here you go, robots. I'm
well,
going home.
right.
Yeah. I'm pretty
The
sure there's like
AI
some
thing
sense
that
of
I'm
like
seeing is
control tower where they control these things, you know?
yeah.
I mean, because didn't Tesla have or like Uber have these like AI cars or whatever, and there was someone like behind a wheel, just in the off chance that these self-driving cars malfunctioned or whatever, and then still that car ran over and killed a couple people because the driver was just like either napping or on their phone or something like that.
Right.
So.
But at the end of the day, they're just trying to create something that has like very low emissions. That's one of the biggest things. We've got
That's
very
great.
low emissions.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna save a lot of time being able to traverse through the air, like you would in a helicopter or an airplane. Those obviously save you a ton of time, but it doesn't save you a ton of time going through an airport and shit like that. So to be able to avoid,
Oh, you have to go through an airport for this, or?
no, what I'm saying is because
Like-
you can avoid
like
going
flying
through
in
an
general.
airport
Okay,
and stuff like that. It's much like the speed of a
I was about to
helicopter
say,
and
if I had to
doing
go to
something like that.
TSA
But
just to ride this thing to somewhere, I'd be like,
no,
fuck
I don't.
that.
Right. So it's like, it's just the starts of if we live to see the day, lots of floating cars, vehicles in the skies that are not necessarily jet propelled, and that's exciting for our future. We got to put some lighthearted stuff out there. It can't all be like scary and morbid. This I guess it's still scary because AI and that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of good news and whatnot. And hopefully soon in the future, all of us will be able to take a ride on one of these drones and experience it. Because then the day that you and I are sitting in one of those drones is the day that we're fully in the future and everything's just going
it's
crazy.
the norm, and it's been proven and stuff. Yeah. In the
Mhm.
meantime, let these rich people
play
be the
around with
beta testers. Yeah.
I doubt that they're actually in those planes. They probably hire somebody to be in those.
That's true. And my dumbass would probably be like, okay,
Yeah.
pay me a
Who wants to go to the
$2,000.
moon? It's like
Okay.
me. It's like, yeah.
Well, I think as like a show of or something, like the first one that's gonna fly out is gonna have like the French prime minister or something like that aboard.
Well, they're doing this for the Olympics, so they're trying to promote it, so cause less traffic.
But yeah, they're also trying to show the safety of it. They're willing to put their French, not prime minister, their president. I'm sorry, don't come at me, French people. My last name's French.
I like French fries.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they have enough faith in their.
I like French bulldogs. Are they French? Oh, well, we're gonna stop at French bulldogs. Okay, French fries is okay. Well, French fries are pretty good. I'll give you that.
Well, the way I said it, it wasn't invasive. I didn't I didn't interrupt them. You just like fuck whatever you're saying, Jack. Let me talk about Frenchies real quick.
Well, I died.
I do like French bulldogs.
They're adorable.
And then I don't know.
I do like French bulldogs, Daniel Kim. They are very cute, but they have serious health problems.
Oh yeah, poor things. Just like struggling to breathe and stuff.
Yeah,
they're
eating.
I'm not going to say anything.
All bad.
Go on, Jack. What were you going to say about these taxis?
They're like top heavy. Their head like makes them like their back ends like swing upwards because of how heavy their front ends are.
They're so awkward.
Man.
I love them.
Yeah, the thing about these taxis is, I think the
lack of Frenchies in these taxis.
Yeah, the lack of
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be fun. It's a good concept. They're going to be implementing the first ones. It looks like they said unless China beats them to the punch and does it first, they're going to be the first ones to try to roll this out publicly for the 2024 Olympic Games next summer. So that's like a year from now.
Yeah,
it's like we're still a ways out.
Wait, so does that mean that we have a helicopter taxi race on our hands? You know how there was like the space race before, and then it's like, all right,
yeah.
So now we have to keep an eye out. China versus France.
Oh yeah,
helicopter running.
Well, and like I think those are the two that are basically racing to be the first. But I think there's a lot of countries like the U.S. that are probably making these types of things that are just like, yeah, you guys can be the first. We're gonna like just try to make a quality product or something. Like other countries that are still gonna do the same thing. They're just not as focused on being the first ones to get it done. But I think this is gonna be. Global. There's so much stuff we've been talking about lately that feels like it's gonna like start to really just go global really fast, and it's almost like scary. It feels like there's gonna be this weird tipping point where like all this shit it's too much. I can't even imagine. It's gnarly. Anything else on it, guys? Anything else in this weird week you got for me?
No, excited to see where technology takes us, man. But damn, what an episode this was. We traveled the world. We had like
about French bulldogs. I know, right?
Yeah, went from Frenchies to plagues of biblical proportions to like damn, what a.
There's a lot of like invasive species type things happening right now, and that's another one of those like concerning biblical apocalyptic type things. You're like, oh, there's just like scary giant snails that cause meningitis invading Florida, huh? That's not.
But at the same time, it tracks for Florida though. So it's like, what else is new? You're gonna start seeing videos of these like Floridians just picking up these fucking slugs for fun and like, oh, yeehaw, for like the TikToks and shit. So
right,
that'll be in the next episode, I swear.
How messed up is it though? Also, that we're like, oh, these crazy Floridians, man, they've got like gators and giant fucking snails and stuff, but like all these things are native to Africa too, and we're never like, man, Africa. But it's like Australians are psycho, or I mean, Floridians are psycho.
I guess because it's, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Because like it's normal for like them to have it, but us all of a sudden, I guess because it is all of a sudden.
They're like shrugging.
Like an African bee infestation at one point.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the murder hornets.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great time. It was around like 2020 when everything was everything was hitting the fan. So it's like, oh, what else could happen? And the bee's like, oh, you rang? And they're just like taking over. It's like, all right, cool, yeah, I got that in a bingo card.
Yeah, and that was in like, but that was in like Washington. Bingo. That was in like Northeast Washington, not like total opposite of Florida. Florida. It's crazy down there, guys. You gotta get your act together. And then I'm saying that over here in California, and then we've got Africans out there that are like, you guys just got the giant snails. We've had these for a long time. Here, you guys want another shitty invasive species? You can take another one off our hands if you want.
Yeah, just take the shit. We don't want it.
Oh man. All right, guys. It's been fun. Like you said, we traveled the globe. And we did a lot this week. Invasive species and future technologies, all that good stuff. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say and fortune tellers.
And fortune tellers and people predicting the future. All right, guys, we really appreciate you. Thank you again for joining us in this weird week, and we will catch you next time. Follow, like, subscribe, send us all your money. Peace.